Good morning. Happy spring. It's good to see everybody back. For those of you who don't know me or you're new to COD, I'm Linda Sands Van Kirk. I'm Vice President of Human Resources. First on the agenda for this morning is the Employee Recognition Awards, specifically the IM COD Group Team Award. Joe Collins and I will be presenting the nominees and the winners for this spring's award. So first, I'm going to describe a bit about the award eligibility, just to refresh everyone, the selection process, and the criteria, and then we will get right to the nominees. This time, we received 10 team nominations, which is awesome. So round of applause for all the people who made the nominations and for the team nominees. That's just great. Thank you again to all those who submitted nominations. Each of you did a fantastic, thorough, wonderful job with your submissions. And I say this every time. Unfortunately, in our presentations, we won't be able to do justice to all the thought and effort put into these submissions because we just don't have the time. So you will notice they've been condensed, and I hope we did a good job of capturing at least the critical elements. If anyone's interested in reading the complete nominations, you can find those, I believe, on the employee portal. So as we mention each of the teams, if the team members could stand so that we can see who you are. If we don't know who you are, I would appreciate it. And first, I'm going to go through, as I said, the criteria. Oh, eligibility first. Okay, so eligibility. All regular classified, managerial, FOP, operating engineers, and classified and managerial staff at the Inn. The selection process for this specific award, Cabinet reviews nominations and the criteria and selects the winner. Winners receive a group lunch at Wheat Cafe and a $50 gift card per member. Criteria. Actions go above expectations and make a positive and recognizable difference at the college. The groups demonstrate exceptional student service, promotes the college's mission to students and or the community, achieves institutional goals and priorities, achieves significant monetary savings, or improves efficiencies. And then the last criteria is the teams demonstrate effective and efficient teamwork, displays initiative and persistence, and encourages effective group problem solving. I suppose if I had all this memorized, I wouldn't need this paper, but you know what? There's not enough room. Okay. All right, so the first team nominated, access and accommodations. Again, if each of the members would stand as I call your name: Jackie Rulin, Katie Ricketts, Cheryl Ebersold, Rochelle Favalli, and Jeanette Johnston. The staff of the Access and Accommodations, nominated by Michael Duggan from Counseling and Advising. The staff of the Access and Accommodations Office are the unsung heroines of COD's campus. Their dedication to students and staff is unending as they work towards their goal of removing barriers for students with disabilities here at COD. Access and Accommodations offer programming throughout the year targeting students with disabilities. Topics include workforce accessibility issues, how to disclose your disability, deaf culture, high school transition, and college success skills. They extend themselves time and time again to make a difference in students' lives and advocate for their needs. Michael says, in all my 20-plus years of higher education experience, I have never met a team of such student-centric, dedicated, passionate professionals. They make a difference every single day, and I'm honored to work with them. Next team, conference and events. That's Joe Lariza and Josh Calvo, which they're probably
right
in the back. They waved. Okay, nominated by Stephanie Quirk from Student Life. Joe and Josh are a familiar team to anyone who hosts events at COD. Joe and Josh provide exceptional auxiliary services to the college community, including staging, sound systems, and technical setup needs. As a team, they exceed the criteria stated, and they are particularly skilled at problem solving. It is nothing short of a miracle that their small team is able to keep up with the volume of events and activities and the variety of needs on this campus. I know from personal experience that events are frequently occurring simultaneously on opposite ends of the campus, and Joe and Josh always manage to figure everything out while providing responsive and friendly service. They are integral to the success of our programming and student life and to our college's ability to host world-class events that draw participants from near and far. Next team, in at Water's Edge. Jamie Fredericks, Terry Baranowski, Alyssa Lappin, Samantha Simmons, Jessica Santos, Daniel Emanuel, and Mikala Doherty. You guys here? There they are. The Inn's overall goal is to be a living learning lab for the hospitality students at the college. This allows the students to learn, check in, check out, clean, and maintain guest rooms. This team was nominated by Mary Beth Leone, Jim Mullick, Kathleen Talinko, hospitality faculty. This allows the students to learn, check in, check out, clean, and maintain guest rooms, work in the laundry, serve breakfast, and act as concierge, all while maintaining the highest standards for our guests. The students are given the unique experience of learning in an authentic setting where our staff works one-on-one with each student in front desk and housekeeping and provides mentoring and guidance while maintaining professional standards for the guests. The Inn has continued to grow in occupancy and average daily rate each year. In fact, monthly increases have grown in excess of 10%. This growth allows for more student internship opportunities and in turn leads to full-time positions in the industry. Our team has also won the prestigious TripAdvisor Certificate of Excellence Award 2 years in a row. The basis for the award is obtaining the best customer ratings in your market. In fact, of all the reviews, all but one have received 5 stars, with the exception of 1 4-star review. The next team is the Marketing and Communications News Bureau, nominated by Joe Moore in Marketing and Communications. This team is Robin Johnson, Jennifer Duda, Brian Kleeman, and Mike McKissick. The COD News Bureau encourages enrollment and participation in college-wide events through articles that share information about student, faculty, and staff successes, also about new programs and academic partnerships, educational and cultural offerings offered to our college and the broader community. Through a continuous flow of positive communication, both internally and externally, the News Bureau reinforces the college's mission by motivating individuals to visit our campus, understand the merits of attending COD, and encourage them to select COD as their first choice for higher education. If something is happening at COD, the News Bureau is covering it with a smile and focus on customer satisfaction. This group provides outstanding customer service. Yes, we can help is their motto. This is exemplified through the more than 600 press releases, spotlights, and photo captions written annually with an average, this is interesting, with an average 150 plus hits in the media each month. The creation of 150 plus Flickr, I don't know if I said that, Flickr albums annually with 8,000 photos, 200 plus student, faculty, alumni spotlights each year, and the posting of 2,500 plus events posted on the plasmas, events calendars, LEDs, and portals. The News Bureau also shares positive internal news through the bi-monthly Green Sheet, which has approximately 19,600 unique opens per year and an average read time of 7.5 minutes. Interesting. The News Bureau tells the story of COD, and the 4-member team maintains strong, positive relationships with faculty, staff, and students to cultivate information to share with the rest of the college and the district. Next team is Multimedia. Chris Kyle, Chris Geekus, Ed Koos, Sal Garcia, David Gorski, Jim Nocera, Elmira Hostovic, Paul Thompson, Kevin Willman, Dan Robinson, Amy Zaibo, and Justine Clark. And they are nominated by Cheryl Ebersold from Access and Accommodations. Cheryl says, we were awarded a $5,000 grant to set up a mentoring program for our students who are on the autism spectrum. At about the same time, we were scheduled to do a presentation at a conference and decided rather than telling people how things were going, we would videotape a couple of our students and show the clips along with our presentation. The video clips turned out awful, but we used them anyway. And it got me thinking, why not see if the multimedia department could make some professional video clips for us? We could use the clips for future presentations and for reporting back on our grant. I contacted David Gorski, manager of Multimedia Services, and from the moment I contacted David, I received world-class customer service. The team made my 2 very nervous students at ease, and the resulting edited videos were top-notch. Our department also requested an informational video be made as a marketing tool for outreach that we could provide on our website, and they developed an expert written script that covered all we wanted to convey and more. I wish I would have captured the looks on my students' faces when they saw themselves on the videos for the first time. I will never forget the looks of pride and belonging to something bigger than themselves. They got to engage in an experience that they might never have had access to, and they are now strongly connected to College of DuPage. This project completely exceeded our expectations. We have these posted on our website and can easily email the link. Parents of prospective students have said the information is invaluable and that they appreciate knowing what types support services are in place at COD. Okay, that's 5 teams. The next 5 teams, Joe Collins will introduce.
Thanks, Linda. You know, there are plenty of open seats at tables down in front. For those of you that are standing in the back, if you'd like to just come sit down front, you're welcome to. Okay, next team is nursing. This is why Linda wanted to switch at this point. Now, the nursing team, nominated by Karen Batke, is Adiyinko Adebayo, Karen Batke, Loria Bowman, Teresa Busey, Marilyn Bumber, Kim Crosby, Patty Donahue, Rosemary Fugazado, Erica Galbraith, Melissa Gonzalez, Deb Hill, Gloria Cass, Denise Cassie, Donna Perhatch, Colleen Prola, Taryn Shelby, Katie Taylor, Tina Thompson, Carol Trejo, Carol Trotter, Judy Vierke, Amy Walters, and Dan Wojnicki. The intra- and interdisciplinary basic nurse assistant training team strives to partner with learners to provide an outstanding educational experience for their future healthcare providers. The BNA teamwork is a dynamic process with one component involving operations, learning space management, and instruction, accomplished by professionals with complementary background and skills. The BNA Central team interface with prospective, current, and former students and work closely with the coordinator to provide accurate information about the program. Collaborative projects include making revisions to the registration and health requirements packets, constructing a new BNA webpage, and planning for the new BNA student orientations. The faculty work closely with Donna Perhatch to maintain the 4 labs with safe, state-of-the-art medical equipment. Congratulations to the nursing team. Next team nominated is the nursing laboratory and simulation staff. This team is Donna Perhatch, Kathy Nugent, Jeff Yonkas, Mary Versalino, Janelle Walker, and Romana Donnelly. This team was nominated by the full-time nursing faculty. This team's goals and objectives are to assist the nursing faculty in the presentation of simulated and laboratory learning experiences for the associate degree nursing students. The nursing department has been challenged lately due to lack of clinical experiences, and many of them are now done in the nursing simulation labs. This has led to an increased need for simulated experience with little turnover time. Due to the change in scheduling this semester and the challenges related to clinical sites, the laboratory staff set up and participated in an unprecedented 288 simulations this semester. They eagerly worked with faculty to provide the best possible learning experiences for students. Lastly, the lab staff has transformed the nursing department open lab into a learning space where the students want to be. They have been welcoming and nurturing to the students and have created an environment that is very conducive to collaborative learning for our students. They are experts in their fields and have been a tremendous resource for our nursing students. Most importantly, this team demonstrates kindness in all interactions with faculty and students. The faculty can sense this team's commitment to the students, and this has led to a very positive collaborative work environment among the faculty and laboratory staff. Congratulations. Next up is purchasing. Susan Castellanos Elizondo, Kelly Froelich, Michelle Mirzaniuska, and Jana Bekta. Oh, they weren't able to make it? Okay. They were nominated by Ellen Roberts in Business Affairs. The purchasing department team is responsible for ensuring all purchasing policies, procedures, and practices are adhered to. With significant turnover in the purchasing manager position over the past several years, extended periods with no direct manager, and an extended period with a vacant buyer position, this team has successfully faced numerous challenges. Throughout this period, the team has managed requirements for audits, FOIAs, complex RFPs and RFQs, and the interim financial management team. This past year has brought significant focus on tightening purchasing practices and ensuring that changing requirements are met. The team has stayed focused on proving exceptional service to their internal clients while ensuring the college's purchasing practices are aligned with all policies, procedures, and regulations, and continue every day to look for ways to improve our practices. Congratulations to the purchasing team. Next team nominated is the Smart Start team, nominated by Jane Smith from Student Affairs. This team is Patty Jones-Ward, Sue Black, Ann Genther, Catherine Thompson, Jeannie Kempiak, Jocelyn Harney, and Scott Heck. The Smart Start initiative was created to eliminate the guesswork and obstacles new students encounter when navigating the steps to enrollment at College of DuPage. The program gives students an opportunity to complete multiple enrollment tasks in a 5-hour period during a single visit to campus, including a college and academic planning overview, class schedule and time management discussion, instruction on My Access account setup and usage, a one-on-one meeting with a counselor advisor, and hands-on assistance with registration and payment. The Smart Start pilot launched in the fall of 2014 and was followed by another cohort in the fall of 2015. Each year, approximately 180 new at-risk students were served by this new program. Through funding from a Resources for Excellence grant each year, COD students were trained as chaparral leaders to host the event. The results from the first cohort have been remarkable. Second cohort results not available yet. A 22% higher GPA for the first semester was realized by program participants. The group also registered for classes, registered for more credits, and persisted to the spring semester at an 8% higher rate than invited non-participants. The Smart Start program is highly innovative and based on problem-solving, responsiveness, and customer service. The results speak for themselves and clearly address student success in measuring progress. The program has proven to be highly successful, and plans are underway to scale up Smart Start to serve a much broader audience. Congratulations to the Smart Start team. And our final nominee is the Student Records team, Sarah Alcantara, Lori Ebele, Sandy Heineman, Phyllis Kerrigan, Manny Salazar, and Carmel Schaefer. This team provides outstanding customer service and customer satisfaction to students, co-workers, and community members. The Office of Student Records handles many processes, including compiling and transmitting enrollment data to the National Student Clearinghouse, handling the forgiveness policy and issues with academic standing, ensuring transcripts are processed to meet the students' deadlines, and much more. At the end of each semester, the Office of Student Records receives several thousand transcript and verification requests, and they complete these requests as soon as grades are posted, meeting students' needs of as soon as possible. The team of the Office of Student Records has great team spirit and is committed to every task 100%. Congratulations to the Student Records team, nominated by Phyllis Kerrigan from Student Records. So as you see, we have 10 teams nominated, and all 10 are deserving of the award. I mean, and there are probably other teams that aren't nominated doing similar activities at the college. So just take a moment and let that kind of sink in, all the amazing work that is being done by these 10 teams and many other teams that weren't even nominated today. It really is incredible what happens. What happens on a day-to-day basis at College of DuPage is incredible, and I just want to point that out. So, the winner of the IMCOD Group Team Award for spring of 2016 is, oops, what's it doing here? Oh, there it is. Marketing, Communications, and the News Bureau. Come on up. There's stairs over there. Be careful. Good job, Robin. Nice job. You deserve it.
So nice.
Good job, Brian. Well done. You deserve it. Thank you. Yeah. Thanks, Jen. You deserve it. Really good job. Thanks, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm next on the agenda, and I just wanted to just make a few brief comments. Can you still hear me? Is this microphone on? David, is this one on? Is it working? Okay. Just a couple brief updates. The Alex Partners, who have been managing our financial operations, we are in the process of transitioning them out. We interviewed this week for interim controller and interim VP of administration, the positions that were held, by our previous VP of administration and controller. So we've got candidates. We're ready to move forward, I think, and as quickly as possible. We'd like to bring the interim people in for the VP of administration and controller jobs to finish that role until a new president is hired. When a new president is hired, then that president will then have the opportunity to hire his or her own VP of administration and controller. So Alex Partners is great, very expensive, and we're going to switch them out with the two interim people who are very highly qualified, the people that we've identified. And based on background checks, reference checks, and board approval, we have to go through the steps, so I can't announce who they are yet. But we are moving along, and so I want you to know that's going to be good for the college because it's going to save us some serious money by being able to switch them out. And again, it will depend on the next president. The presidential search process is underway. Once the board identifies a new president, then that president will then hire his or her own VP of administration. Enrollment, just a quick update on enrollment. Right now we're up 2% for the spring term. We expect that number to come down. We're kind of thinking it'll be closer to flat, which is great. If we have the same enrollment we had last spring, considering all of the negative publicity about College of DuPage, I think if our enrollment is flat, that would be pretty good. And then the other thing I wanted to talk to you about today is just our probationary status. So I just want to go through that a little bit and tell you what from my perspective, how it all looks. So as you know, on December 16, we received a letter from the Higher Learning Commission and stating that we were put on probation. The probationary period is 2 years. So we will be on probation until at least November of 2017. Now, we were given in that letter the actual reasons that the HLC gave us the sanction of probation. This morning, I sent out a memo to the college that states each of those reasons and what we have done to, the word that HLC uses is ameliorate. fix. So what we have done to ameliorate those issues is in my memo. And you'll see in my memo what I say is, I think we have actually fixed all the issues that are cited in that HLC letter. Now, does that mean we fixed every problem we have at COD? Not by a long shot. But the reasons the college was placed on probation have been dealt with. So, I would just ask you to read that memo, look and see what the HLC cited as a reason for the probation, and read what our response is for that. One area where we have not ameliorated the issues cited by the HLC is with our current board. The board was cited in that letter as well. There are governance issues about our current board not working well together. Currently, currently our board is split 3-3. There is no ultimate authority for our board. They are the ultimate authority. They are elected by the citizens of District 502. They are elected, and until they get elected, until they leave office and someone else is elected, there's no one that can overrule them and tell them that they have to meet or they have to play nice or whatever. They are the board. Now, that's why boards have odd numbers of members, is because when you get a situation where boards disagree, you want at least there to be a tiebreaker vote. Well, we had a tiebreaker vote since last April, and then the chairman resigned suddenly, unexpectedly, in December for personal reasons. Since that time that she resigned, our board has not met. There are 3 trustees on one side of an issue and 3 trustees on the other side of the issue. And the main argument that they have right now is whether or not the vice chairman becomes the chairman. 3 of them are arguing that the vice chairman doesn't automatically become the chairman. You have to be elected chairman. The other 3 are arguing, no, the vice chairman automatically becomes the chairman. Who gets to decide that ultimately? The board. So here's where we are. It's 3-3. And like I said, there's no ultimate authority that is going to tell one side or the other they're right or wrong. It's the board's decision. So as you can tell, probably nothing is going to happen in terms of making a decision until February 11. February 11 is the date that is 60 days out from when Kathy Hamilton resigned. So the board, as it currently is situated, I'm pretty sure they are not going to be able to come to agreement on a 7th trustee. What happens then on February 11? I mean, it's possible. It's possible the board could find someone. If they don't, on February 11, that decision goes to a gentleman named Laz Lopez, former COD student, COD graduate. He is the, kind of ironic in a way, right? So he is the acting chairman of the ICCB. And he is going to make the determination on who our 7th trustee is. And I've spoken to him, and the approach he wants to use is he wants to get copies of the 28 people, the 28 applications that we've received. Right now we have 28 applications for that 7th trustee job. It's not a job, that position. So 28 people want to be that 7th trustee. And Laz told me that his approach would be to take those 28 people, form a committee at the ICCB, and start reviewing those 28. And his hope would be he would pick someone out of that pool that has applied to be our 7th trustee. And so the decision would roll over to him on February 11. And then he said he would do it as quickly as he possibly could, because as he realizes the situation we're currently in, where no college business is being approved at the board level and hasn't since November. So all through December and so far through January, our board has not met. If half the board meets, that's not a board meeting. They need quorum. So quorum is, in our case, 4 people. They need 4 trustees to show up for a meeting in order for business to be conducted. If only 3 show up, they can't take actual college business. So that's where we are. So as I said, read my memo, and you'll see that in my view, we haven't addressed every issue we have at College of DuPage, not by a long shot. But we have addressed the reasons we're on probation. And I would just make this one plea to everyone. Can we please have these discussions inside the House, and let's discuss with each other what our problems are and how we should fix those problems. Instead of going out into the public realm and telling everybody how bad COD is, which ends up putting us on, ultimately, probation. Think about this. The reason the HLC told us in a letter, the reason they investigated us, 5 articles in the Chicago Tribune. That what appeared in the Chicago Tribune is why they came in and looked at us. Once they came in and looked at us, they put us on probation. So my point is just this. Let's work on our problems in-house, collegially, collaboratively, and try and fix what we can instead of continually playing this out in the public sphere, which is damaging to the college's reputation. That's all I'll say, and I'll end it right there. And I guess maybe I'll take questions if anybody has any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Yeah?
So is there a board policy manual, something that says when the president is gone, or when the chair is gone, somebody else assumes that? Like the government in the U.S., you know?
No. State statute says the vice chairman acts in the absence of the chairman. So the argument is, what does absence mean? 3 of the trustees say absence means any absence, including a vacancy. The other 3 trustees say, no, absence means someone is temporarily not there. If you vacate the position, like Kathy Hamilton did, there is no chairman. That's the other side. And by the way, let me just make something clear here. I'm not picking sides. I work for all 6 of these trustees. I cannot choose a side. So I'm just telling you the facts of the situation as I understand them. So that's the situation. There is no clear cut. I'll give you a good example. Joliet Junior College, they have a board policy that says if the chairman resigns, the vice chairman becomes the chairman. I mean, there's no argument there. At Joliet, there's just no argument. When that happened, even though they did have an argument, but they're not supposed to have an argument. It's right there in their board policy. No, I'm telling you, boards can do whatever they want. I mean, you can say right or wrong, but it comes down to what they ever want to vote on. So at Joliet, though, clear language in their board policy. At COD, our language looks just like the state statute. Our board policy says the vice chairman acts in the absence of the chairman. So that's the question. And both sides have an argument, and both sides, I'll tell you this, have got professional opinion on their side. Both sides have it. It isn't like there's a neutral professional opinion that you can turn to get to. Again, you can't solve this issue by going outside the board. This is an issue for the board to resolve. Okay. Yeah, a question? Yes, Julia?
So I have 2 actually, Joe. Number 1 is, if there hadn't been 5 articles in the Tribune, we wouldn't be in this mess. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so that internal communication was working, right? And that there was no problem until the Tribune said there was a problem. Is that what you are saying?
I'm saying the reason the HLC stated to us, and again, I don't want to get into opinion. I'm stating something factually. The reason the HLC told us that they investigated us was the 5 articles in the Chicago Tribune. I will leave it up to the people in the room to figure it out for yourself why those 5 articles were in the Tribune and how accurate they were. I'm not going to go any farther than that.
No, but I mean, you're saying internal communication is the way to go, and I'm saying internal communication clearly wasn't working because...
That's your opinion.
SLEA happened.
That's your opinion.
No, SLEA happened. That's not my opinion. The double crediting and SLEA and the 5 articles, those things were fact that were presented
Okay,
in
let
the
me
paper.
stop. Let me use SLEA as an example. No one came to me and reported an issue with SLEA. No one came to me and said, hey, we don't think the decision you made in SLEA about giving the cadets credit is the correct decision.
Right, but one of the complaints...
You know how I found out about it? I read in the Chicago Tribune under a headline, "Is College of DuPage cooking its enrollment numbers?" That's how I find out that the faculty did not think that we should have changed the credits in SLEA from 9 to 18. That's my point. Can we talk about that internally instead of going to the Chicago Tribune with that issue?
No, but I think it had been talked about internally. So
No, I'm just told you, Julia.
No, you didn't
No
see it, but there were other...
one told. Right. So you would think that if you talked to someone internally and didn't get an answer, you would at least exhaust all your internal options before going to the Chicago Tribune and reporting it there. Which, by the way, that article, full of inaccuracies. But I don't want to get too much into that. You guys, people can have their opinions. I'm stating factually the reason we got put on probation, the reason the HLC came to see us, 5 articles in the Tribune. Think about it for yourself, why those articles were in the Tribune.
Okay, question 2. I was at a board meeting, I don't know when, and then Deanne Mizaki sort of listed things that she wanted senior management team and you specifically to be addressing for the HLC. And I feel like in the saying that you've addressed those issues, you know, is that what the HLC, have they given you feedback or have you said to them, are there other things that you need for me to do this? And when Deanne listed those criteria, you know, are you sort of ignoring those or waiting until February 11th to decide if you're going to, or are you actually sort of making, answering that plan, that projected very detailed plan she had for what she wanted in terms of addressing the HLC?
Let me clarify something. Trustee Mizaki is an individual trustee. The board was not meeting when Deanne got up and presented her PowerPoint. That was not an official board directive. I work for the board. The board only has authority. They only have authority when they're in session in public and voting with quorum. When Deanne Mizaki and Frank Napolitano and Chuck Bernstein held the I'm not sure if you call it a meeting, but held that session where Deanne got up and asked me if I would come up with a plan for I said I'd be happy to, but that was an individual who has absolutely no authority to direct me to do anything.
It was a good idea at all, just for the HLC. Whether you're with Deanne or whether you're not taking sides, was it not a good idea in terms of addressing what we're trying to get accomplished for the HLC?
I think it is. And
so have you started that?
I did it this morning. I sent the memo out this morning.
Oh, that one memo is your response to all those?
It's right here.
Okay.
It's 6 pages, and I asked everybody.
You sent it 8:07 this morning?
Exactly.
Okay.
I asked everybody in this room, please read this, and it doesn't, and I'll repeat this again, This does not solve every problem we have at College of DuPage. Not by a long shot. However, it's my belief that this memo addresses every item in the HLC. What I'm trying to do for this college is to get it off probation, is to restore its reputation. I'm not interested in arguing people inside the college. My point is, let's have the discussions internally. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. Let's be collegial. Let's stop the us versus them. You've seen what happens at board meetings. It's incredibly non-productive for the college for this us versus them to continue. I'm saying it's what I believe got us put on probation. The fact that we were fighting with each other in public. That's what I'm saying. That's my opinion. I don't know that to be true. I do know again, fact and opinion. Fact, the HLC said the reason that they came to visit us, 5 articles in the Chicago Tribune. Joe's opinion, that's why we're on probation. Okay, that's opinion. I don't know. I wasn't in the meeting when they put us on probation. I didn't hear them talking. Separate fact from opinion, though. You can have your own opinion. It's okay. But let's work together. Let's talk about these issues as colleagues rather than shooting at each other in the press, for instance. That's the only point I'm trying to make. Does anybody else have any questions? Yeah, Bob?
Yeah, Joe, I think it's great that you're talking about working collaboratively, collegially. But the reality is that for 5 years, faculty representatives have gone to the board, have spoken to administrators about issues. A lot of those issues are addressed in the HLC, and faculty representatives were ignored. So what's changed that the administration, the senior management team is now going to start listening to us? How do we know you're going to pay attention to what we're saying and take what we're saying seriously as opposed to ignoring it and dismissing us?
I take issue with what you just said, Bob. I don't think that's an accurate perception of what's been going on since I became the acting interim president.
I'm not talking about acting interim president. I'm talking about the 5 years leading up to this point where issues were raised and were ignored.
Okay, so now we're on probation. My point is, okay, let's look forward. Let's stop the arguing about what happened 5 years ago. Let's look forward and solve the problems going forward. We're on probation. I mean, this is unbelievable. We are like one of the best community colleges in the country, and we're a laughingstock in terms of some people's minds because now we're on probation. I mean, that is an amazing occurrence to me. It really is. I'm just shocked that happened. So my point, Bob, is just, I know you don't like me. Fine. Let's just keep, no, it's okay. It's okay. That's fine. I see what you write on the blogs. That's fine. I don't care. The point is, let's have these discussions going forward. Let's work together if you can. You're going to get a new president here in a few months, okay? When that new president comes in, there you go. You've got a nice break between the Bruder years and whoever your new president's going to be. Okay, fine. It's only going to be a few months till you get that new president. And at that time, you can start afresh with that president. Okay, that's what I'm saying, Bob. Okay? What else is there? Anybody else have anything? Yeah, go ahead.
We're good? Okay, we're good. Hi, Joe.
Hi, Steve.
I'm going to set up a couple things before I ask you the question. Thing number one, I like you.
It's okay if you like me. It's okay if you don't like me.
All right.
That's not what I'm talking about here today. It's okay. I'm just saying, keep it in the house. Yeah.
But that is going to lead to thing number two. As a communications scholar, I appreciate your process. But there is an undeniable problem that we need to look at the last 5 years, and frankly, we need to look at the time that you have been too, that internal communication has failed us on multiple levels. I appreciate the fact that you would like to keep things in-house and work collaboratively. But as a communications scholar, I don't see the different processes that are being implemented, including during your tenure, that are going to improve that communication environment. So could you outline some strategies that you would like to take, let's say starting today, and let's go beyond the memo that you sent this morning. Could you give us some strategies that you would like to take to improve the communication environment?
No, I can't. I can't. And I'll tell you this, I am only sitting in this seat until you find a new president. I think your new president needs to come up with those strategies, Steve.
I would humbly say that in the time that you're here, you would need to lead us in creating some solid communication environment strategies.
No,
you have a phenomenal...
You don't know how hard my job is.
I do.
I didn't ask for this job.
And we're here to help you.
I don't care. I didn't ask for this job. Mm-hmm. I am going crazy trying to hold this position together, working for a board that is split 3-3. Kathy, you would not understand what I put up with for 7 months working for Kathy Hamilton.
All right.
If you knew
Joe, I need to stop you there.
No, I'm talking, Steve. Hold on. If you knew what I had to put up with, you wouldn't be up here going, Joe, you ought to give us some good theories about how we should work better internally. I'm telling you, I'm just holding this job. You want to find another acting interim president? Tell the board that, which some of you already have. fine. Find someone else to take this job. I'm okay with that. I'm doing what I can for the institution, and as long as I need to be in this position, I will. But I'm waiting for another president to come in here and take over this job.
May I respond?
Sure.
Thing number one, may I remind you that I like you.
I said
And that
it
I
doesn't matter if you like me or not, Steve.
May I
because-
finish my thought,
Let me
please,
just
acting
can I-
interim President Collins?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I like you. I have liked you for years. I trust your processes. We've worked together. I have faith in you. Secondly, and I'm hoping this will address some of the concerns that you've been mentioning, I am one of 9 full-time communication professors that we have on this campus. I will open up the invitation to myself. I will let my other colleagues decide for themselves. If we can provide assistance, advice, strategies for improving the communications environment on this campus, we stand ready to assist you, our leader. We are not expecting you to do this on your own. We want to work collaboratively with you. All we're asking is let us help you set up solid systems so we may have more effective communication environments.
Okay, that sounds good.
Thank you.
Anything else, anyone? Okay, so at this point, I'll turn it over to Dr. Karche. What a great intro for you, huh, Gene?
Talk for a while. I do invite you. There are seats in the front. If you want to take a chair from here and squeeze in at a table in the back, you may. If you want to leave, now's a good time. No movement? Okay. I want to start by saying I like you. Happy New Year. There's a whole table up here. That's right. Oh, no. And you're quoting Dr. Seuss, thing 1 and thing 2. Yes, we do. Okay, let's begin, and welcome to the spring semester 2016. This is my 7th College of Lake County, I'm still in the wrong place. College of DuPage address prior to the start of the new semester, and I'm sure that for most of you, this is the highlight of the year. The anticipation as you wait with bated breath for the words of wisdom to flow from my lips. And it's going to happen. But first, I'd like to spend some time updating us all about happenings around town. And you know what I just realized? Is this the clicker? Okay. So once I do that, I'm going to look backwards as a prelude to the next semester, and I will begin with the updates. First, I want to welcome some returning faces to the college this semester. First is Zia Mahood, who returned to the math department last fall after a leave. He started after the semester started, so we missed him in the fall. Are you here, Zia? Okay. We also have physical therapy assistant Jill Dietz rejoining us as a full-time temporary faculty member after the resignation of Nina Meunier, who had been working in that area. And we have Associate Professor Jennifer Kelly, who's returned after a 1-semester leave, where she focused on a postmaster certificate in library and information sciences as she researched higher information literacy standards in higher education. I'm looking forward to talking with her about her experience. We'll find absent this term, Nina, as I mentioned earlier, and Kent Richter, Professor of Philosophy and Religious Studies, who's at Christ Church University in Canterbury, England. He's there with a group of students through the ISIS program who are studying abroad. He will be monitoring their work, engaging in cultural experiences, teaching a class, and taking some classes while he's there. At the end of this academic year, We're going to say goodbye to some people, either during the end of May or this summer. People who've made important contributions to this community and have decided to retire. And I really hope, and I say this every year, that we make their last semester memorable, because they have in total contributed to this college 105 years of service. Leaving us are maybe it's the green one. So farewell. Bob Capetta in mathematics. Clyde Cox, professor of computer and internet. Or David Chu, I apologize. David, are you here? David is in graphic design, and he's recently led our work with 3D printing. Clyde Cox now, professor of computer and internet working technologies. Linda Elaine, English. Dan Keyes, professor of English as well. Daniel Lloyd, Dean of Liberal Arts. And Ellen Sutton, Dean of Learning Resources. I think I speak for many as I say that you all will be missed. Finally, I want to share with you the 2 postcards I got this fall. They're really not postcards. They're holiday greetings in the form of a card, but you know I appreciate having people remember me. The first is of Mr. and Mrs. Nash. It's my daughter. She got married in September, and her husband. And the second are some Rugrats in the Henningsen family. Aren't they cute? This is little Owen, who was born in the fall. Applause up here. And my favorite part of the card, the other side. I love this card, Tim. It really speaks to your sense of humor, too. As I worked to sculpt my comments, I thought about the need always to respect the past, especially as we move into the future. Because if we don't, we'll repeat it, or we'll lose some of those things that were very good about the past. In that regard, I think of always wrong one? Sorry, one more time. I think of Janus, the ancient Roman god, for whom January is said to be named. He's depicted as having 2 faces, looking toward the past and to the future. He's the god of doors and transitions, gateways, endings, love, peace, war, and conflict. This seems to be a fitting image as we end the fall and move into the new semester. So I want to spend a little time looking at what some of the things we accomplished this last fall. In no particular order, and certainly it's not inclusive. We hosted 400 people to view the supermoon total lunar eclipse. Sponsored the Writing on the Edge conference developed by the lecturers in English for adjunct faculty. We hosted the Classroom to Career Collaborating for Student Success Symposium, which involved the people on the screen, 14 students, 34 faculty and staff from across the college, the 14th Lieutenant Governor of Illinois, Sheila Simon, and 13 community members, some of whom joined us by video. It was a great event, and I think really showed the quality of the work at the college to those who attended. And we provided a location for the Illinois Regional HTEC Technical Educators Conference and the Manufacturing Expo. We piloted an orientation embedded in Blackboard for online students. Almost 1,000 of them used this resource to prepare their computers, get help with technology, explore tips for better study online, and find ways to get additional help if that didn't meet their needs. We celebrated our second homecoming, and our football team traveled to the Toro Bowl in Arizona. Some of them, it was the first time they'd ever been on a plane. We opened the Digital Media Lab in the library. Whoop, I do have some more. Here's our runner-up trophy. We didn't win that football game. We opened the Digital Media Lab in the library to help students learn to use simple software to create basic PowerPoints, Prezi, portfolios, and presentations for their work in the classroom. We assume they know how to do that because most of us are adept at it, but really some students just don't, and now they have a resource. Last fall, our students demonstrated their critical thinking skills while competing with their peers in forensics, HVAC, welding, horticulture, hardscape, and Model UN events. The library brought back Celebrating Our Own, a tribute to the professional work of faculty and staff. Mathematics professor Michael O'Leary and English instructor Tony Bowers both had books published, and I think you should talk to them about it. I'll be talking to Tony because his is more autobiographical and somehow set theory is not going to be my domain this year. We had 3 different disciplines recognized as centers of excellence: chemistry, computer internetworking technologies, and graphic design. The Courier TV received 2 Illinois Broadcast Association Student Silver Dome Awards, and 16 international students came to us through the Community College Initiative program, which identifies promising citizens in third world countries to come to the United States and study at a community college while developing their leadership skills and perspectives. Last fall, we welcomed 24 new full-time faculty to our college and provided mentorships and workshops to help them be the best teachers they can be while orienting to their new roles. And the curriculum committee reviewed and approved 195 course certificate and degree proposals after they were designed and vetted by their colleagues in the discipline and the division curriculum committees. In fall of 2015, the English department piloted the ALP, Accelerated Learning Program, spearheaded by Karen Evans to help assist developmental students in writing. The process helped the students complete a writing course that was developmental and a college-level writing course in 1 semester. The first semester of the pilot, which will continue, showed promising results and provided some possible data for predictive analytics in that area. After 5 years, there's more of the, we got the panels of artwork, which were created by graphic design students and depicting the prairie outside and different scenes mounted in the Health Sciences building. Those who've seen it, I know they look great. It was really a good move, and thank you to those who championed that movement. And after a shorter wait, 6 months, we got the Adult Education and Perkins funding released by the state. Last fall, the music department hosted 21 free Music Friday concerts featuring faculty, students, and guests. The math department piloted a new course designed for non-STEM majors to get them through the developmental coursework quicker. And we began to look at placement options resulting from the Compass test no longer being available. At this point, mathematics has recommended that we look at ALEX, a tool that allows us not only to determine placement, but allows students to remediate as well, rather than getting into a series of coursework, which they may just need certain areas of refresher. And English and reading are looking at AccuPlacer while examining other options for placement, including multiple measures. Last fall, Chris Miller and Mark Rudisil went back to high school as lead teachers at an early college project with West Chicago and Glenbard East High Schools. They were reminded of spirit days and teacher institutes and bells that ring between classes. Remember those good old days? And they helped students begin what will be a series of 12 credit hours that they'll earn during college as they prepare for their next step. And hopefully they will go to college as a result. It's really aimed at those students who have potential but may not have college in their minds right now. Many of our high schools in the district are interested in this program. Last fall, we opened the Homeland Security Training Center, and we were awash in accreditation activities that require the writing of self-studies and hosting of campus visits. In the fall, the Diagnostic Medical Imaging Sonography program was accredited through 2020. And the polysonography program was awarded initial accreditation through that same 5-year period. It's a lot of work. Congratulations to those groups. The anesthesiology technology program and the surge tech assistant programs both submitted self-studies for initial accreditation as new programs. Our physical therapy assistant program, which is accredited by the Commission on Accreditation of Physical Therapy Education, worked with the Accrediting Association over the last year and a half, responding to initial concerns, but it remains on probation. This is largely due to changing standards in the profession. As you know now, they're trying to phase out the masters in physical therapy. Everyone must have a doctorate. And the same is true at the assistant level. We got feedback that our coordinator didn't have a series of education classes at the graduate level that they wanted her to have. And so that was part of the biggest reason we went on to probation in that area. The second is because of a focus toward professional development that is new at that area. So we have now a coordinator in place who's done the coursework, and we are searching for a physical therapist to fill in the other position, which Jill Dietz, as I mentioned earlier, is holding. The nursing program also spent a lot of time in the fall working on accreditation work. They will have a visit this spring, and there is some concern because the students in the program have been part of a new curriculum. The test has changed. We're working, instead of having them just learn what they need to know, use it and think critically, and that creates a different kind of strain on students. So they haven't been scoring as high on their NCLEX exams. We have spent the last year, and this fall especially, looking at what are the issues that they're dealing with and how we can help them be more successful. And we've put numerous things in place. We've hired for both them and the PTA a consultant to help work with them and from the outside, and we've also had special tutoring. Our faculty are doing dynamic jobs in nursing and PTA. Things have changed, and we just need to make sure that we're keeping up with the changes, and we have to help the students get through this particular point in their history. I want to especially thank Dillis Galliard and Marianne Honeycutt, who stepped up to lead this program and these efforts when Vicki Gutenberger departed so quickly last spring. Thank you. And I know we're all aware of our Higher Learning Commission accreditation issues. These are just a smattering of the events, performances, activities at the College of DuPage last fall. And we did it all while running 4,507 class sections, serving over 25,000 students in Glen Ellen, in Addison, Westmont, Carroll Stream, and Naperville, and at countless schools, churches, and other facilities in our district. I think we should be very proud of the work we've done. That's the end of my short list for the fall, but it's not inclusive, and I do encourage you to read We at COD, a wonderful compilation of accomplishments that was developed by Shannon Toller to demonstrate that the College of DuPage philosophy as an institution is alive and well. Shannon, if you're here, would you stand up so we can recognize you for that great piece of work? Right here. Okay, back to Janice. We're going to transition to the new semester and look forward and to embrace what promises to be an equally dynamic semester. This spring, we're going to continue to pilot the early college program with Felipe Armas teaching psychology at West Chicago and Chris Miller continuing his work in speech but at Glenbard East. We, or you, will be searching for 27 new full-time faculty, 11 replacements, and 16 new positions, and several new administrators. In March, we'll be hosting the 39th Annual Midwest Conference on Mesoamerican Archaeology and Ethnohistory, which I'm sure we all want to get a front row seat at. And I'm not trying to be offensive, it's just not my field. And we'll be hosting STEMCon 2016 in April. This event is being planned by faculty in physics, biology, earth science, and I'm sure there are areas that I've missed, but it's the hard sciences, and with the staff in marketing. They're going to introduce to the College of DuPage community our science programs through hands-on demonstrations and interactive displays. The goal is to have prospective students walking out saying, in the words of a committee member, "That's cool. I can do that, and I'm going to start my study at COD." We hope to make this an annual event, or at least every 2 years, and have a different STEM focus at each event. This spring, we're breaking into new student markets. The first is the result of a collaboration between the Humanities and Speech Communication Subdivision and Continuing Education. They've created a teacher's dual language initiative in Spanish. The program has been developed with West Chicago District 33, which includes 6 elementary schools, 2 preschools, and 1 middle school. Approximately 66.4% of the 4,000 students who attend these schools have Hispanic origins. We're going to be offering credit Spanish classes, which will be taught as a hybrid and supplemented by a non-credit boot camp that's highly interactive and accelerated and contextualized for students in for West Chicago School District 33. As a result, the teachers will be able to effectively communicate with both students and their parents in order to ensure success in the classroom. It's a program that could be scaled up if found successful, and that I will hope that maybe some of us at the college might be interested in. In addition, after 2 years of working together, we're moving forward with educational programming with the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice, which has state youth facilities in Warrenville, which is for girls, and St. Charles for boys. After getting clearance from the Illinois Community College Board and Elgin Community College, in which those sites operate, we've recently met to determine the best programs of study for the almost 400 students who live in the facility on a daily basis. The Juvenile Justice Program has its own school district, which we'll be working with and trying to develop some dual credit opportunities as we work to meet the restrictions of the facility, which has said they will not allow us to teach welding or chemistry. It's really exciting for us to see these efforts pay off. In addition, NORCOM, which is the Consolidated 911 Dispatch Center for northern suburbs of Illinois, have reviewed the simulated call center housed in the Homeland Security Training Building and the 80-hour clock hour program of study that is recognized by the International Association of Emergency Dispatchers. And they've agreed that if they hire someone who's gone through the program, they will reimburse them for the expense of their education and training. So this will make us a center of choice for personnel in emergency calling and dispatch. It's great work. Spring semester is really a great term, and I know we're all very busy, but I hope we'll take the time to do some things that I enjoy every year. We're going to be looking forward to the new edition of Essay, our juried publication of student writing, which many people are involved in, as well as the Prairie Light Review, our student-run art and literary journal. The Carol Carter Excellence in History Award reception and lecture will be held in the spring. We're going to take a new look at the Writer's Read, which will feature juried student work and students reading their work. We will have portfolio nights for graphic design, photography, paralegal studies, and architecture that are just phenomenal examples of the great work that happens in our classrooms every day throughout the semester. And I do encourage everyone to go and see those, as well as to the Music Fridays, where we'll have student performances this year as they do their final work. We'll have the Adede Wheeler event honoring female leaders, Black History Month celebrations, the Spring Fashion Show, which features designs by our students, often designs by a high school in our district, and the work of our cosmetology students who do their hair and their makeup. It's a great event. And of course, our big finish will have graduation, which I think is the event of the year at a college. Having gone through our past and looked a bit at our future, I want to cleanse our palate before I move into my final comments. And I'm going to do that with a tribute to Lois Stanziak, a retired professor of education, who shared with me a fondness for Far Side cartoons. Here we go. In the spring, I hope we take time for some business lunches, rather than staying in our offices where we tend to eat. I hope that we recognize that we're all different with different tastes and impressions. This one is a guy picking up his date who says, "Oh, Ginger, you look absolutely stunning, and whatever you rolled in sure does stink." We need to be sure to be proud of whatever role we play at COD. This is like my mom. My son made the frame. And it's part of the whole. We have to recognize that. We need to have each other's back. Mom said, "No more sitting on the edge, Wayne." We need to be sure to communicate clearly. Here's a gentleman coming in saying, "So Andre, the king wants to know how you come in with St. George and the dragon." Clearly didn't articulate. And we need to communicate directly. Tell the cicadas to shut up. If you've ever had those in your home, they're nuts. We need to be wise and never put our tongues on a glacier. We need to appreciate the good things at the college. Here we have some vultures, and one of them says, "Just think, here we are, the afternoon sun beating down on us, a dead, bloated rhino under us, and good friends flying in from all over. I tell you, Ed, this is the best of times." We have to appreciate good things because it could be worse. Those old liver and onions trucks. And for some, I suppose it could be better. This is for the mathematicians. People who love complex formulas. But we're all in this together. And I hope that we will, and fortunately, we're all in this together. I can't imagine being the last of the Mohicans. Okay. Okay, looking forward. This is really a dramatic pause I put in here. It says pause on my paper. Which I've messed up. So we'll skip those inspiring words and go on to the next step. I think it's fun to laugh together. We don't do that near enough. You know, we take ourselves so seriously. And what we do is serious. But it's not life and death, thank God. At least not immediately life and death. If we make a mistake, nobody dies, except in nursing. Just want to point that out. The truth is, though, this last fall or last year, we've been in a bit of a bubble created in part by Bob Bruder. And whether you hate the man or despise him, he did set up the college. He set up the college so that we're not faced with many of the difficult decisions confronting higher education in our state. We don't have to worry about deferred maintenance because all of our buildings are new. Unlike Sauk Valley and McHenry County College, we're able to cover the MAP grant, the Monetary Assistance Program funding that students on financial aid are not receiving in the state because although it's been allocated, it's not been released. Students at other schools are trying to find the money, like Sauk and McHenry, where they're not able to cover those costs. And they're making decisions on whether to continue or to sit out for the rest of the year. And places like the University of Illinois, Chicago, who were on campus yesterday talking about some agreements, have decided to cover the MAP grants to the tune of $17 million a semester because, to quote one of their assistant provosts who visited us, if they don't cover the grants, their enrollments are going to tank. You can bet they're covering that $35 million annual cost by cutting expenses elsewhere. Or, if they're not cutting expenses Unlike College of DuPage, who reduced tuition this year, colleges are covering the shortfall by increasing tuition. The College of Lake County's president has said that they're considering a $6 to $9 increase per credit hour instead of the more typical $3 per credit hour rate they've been using in past years. And I understand that Northern Illinois University's president almost had a conniption because in order to save money, their student affairs vice president, who's in charge of housing, decided to send a note to all of their students who hadn't paid their bills saying, pay up or get out. And the president quickly sent out a note saying, no, please don't leave. Because he knew that would have tremendous ramifications on their enrollment. Unlike most other community colleges in the states, we've been able to support student programs and services for the first half of the year, even though the state held hostage funds for basic adult education, GED, ESL programs, and the Perkins funding that is provided through federal money, not state money. Carl Sandburg closed all of its adult basic education and ESL programs, and other schools have stopped offering classes in the communities if they have to pay rent to hold them. Unlike Eastern Illinois University, we haven't had to insist on furlough days for staff to save money. We haven't had to let go staff like Rock Valley College, who reduced it by 17 people, including the vice president for student affairs, Earl, who was the leader in the state and had been at the college for over 20 years. And we haven't had to have a freeze on hiring or limit travel to in-state conferences with no overnights or eliminate athletic teams. People have had to do important things. Unlike Chicago State University and Northeastern Illinois University, we know we will be open in March. They're considering asking faculty to work for free so students can get there through their courses in the spring if they don't get some money. Unlike Western Illinois or Governor State, we don't need to consider short-term borrowing at exorbitant interest rates. And unlike Richland Community College or Heartland Community College, we don't need to dip into our reserves to meet our daily operating expenses. Let me give you a perspective on how dangerous that can be. If you take our College of DuPage budget and distribute it in a straight line over 12 months, we spend about $15 million a month in salaries, benefits, utilities, contract services like Follett and Sodexo, technology like Blackboard, computers for our classrooms and offices, supplies for bathrooms, classrooms, professional development, et cetera. And that doesn't include the money we need to pay for debt retirement and other items on our books. At $15 million, we spend more a month than the total annual budget of 7 community colleges in our state spend in a year. And just less than 2 others whose budget is in the $16 to $17 million range, those being Rock Valley and Danville. These colleges, like Heartland and Richland, have fund balances of only $5 million. It's not much of a cushion when a state has indicated they may not have a budget until November, and that having a budget does not mean that we would get any of the back monies that we should have been awarded. So they're going forward in a difficult place. It's tough right now in colleges and universities in Illinois, and the College of DuPage is in an enviable position with respect to resource and opportunities for our students and our employees. But that doesn't mean that we have it easy right now, as you know. We've been subject to multiple investigations and probes and are racking up substantial legal fees and financial costs. We're in the middle of a search for a new president and the identification of a new member of the board. And tonight, many of us will convene for the board meeting that may or may not occur. And we'll listen to public comments where individuals will, one after another, those who live in our district and those who don't, those who never stepped foot on our campus before this year and those who've worked here, raised families here, and are retired from here, they will go to the podium to chastise our elected officials, both old and new, our college, our programs, and our people. It's not a meeting I look forward to much. I'm going to get personal here. Last fall, at in-service designed in conjunction with faculty to discuss curriculum processes, the in-service was commandeered as a way for people to express their displeasure at something printed by 3 men who they'd never before met. Shortly after that, A group of 5 administrators and 5 faculty senators met in a meeting that was recommended by the chair of the Senate and is nicknamed 5 on 5. I suggested we discuss the summary of the faculty session found in the Higher Learning Commission report, particularly comments about faculty having no role in curriculum and faculty being bullied. After hearing several dated situations, we asked for someone to describe what bullying looks like. The question was turned around, and one administrator noted that the October in-service was an example of bullying. The Senate representatives denied that was the case and said that was just asking questions. I don't know about the other people in the room, but I felt bullied. Then, just before winter break, an email was sent to more than 300 recipients and published in the Edgar County Watchdog website. It listed it was a listing that asserted behavior detrimental to the college in which I was said to engage. The list was cast in the form of a Senate resolution. I have to admit, I was embarrassed, I was surprised, I was angry that the material was distributed in that manner. I spent a lot of time over the holiday thinking about what it said and talking with colleagues at the college, trusted colleagues in the academic community, and even legal counsel and the Illinois Labor Relations Board about what was written and how it was distributed, especially in light of a footnote on the first page that says some of these issues involve personnel and are therefore confidential. So with that trepidation, I came into this room today, a little bit deja vu, don't you think? At a college that has everything going for it, everything. Dedicated faculty, administrators, and staff, healthy resources, great students and alumni, a wealth of talent, experience, and commitment, at a college where among the biggest concerns about the Vice President for Academic Affairs is that she wants to have a forum to discuss academics with faculty and wants awards for outstanding faculty to mean something. This college has everything, and yet we are embroiled in negativity, incivility, fear, and distrust. I am fearful that we will let the negativity dictate our actions, our interactions, and we'll lose sight of the many, 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 many good things that we have to be grateful for every day. I am fearful that in whatever this struggle is, whether internal or external to our college, we will wreak havoc on our present and our future. And if that becomes true, the students in our district, whether we call them senior citizens, international students, undocumented people, traditional students, cadets, or presidential scholars, the students in our district will be the big losers. And so will we, because our students enrich our lives as much as we enrich theirs. When I came to the College of DuPage in 2012, the faculty and the administration had just ended a very contentious negotiations in which both sides lost a good deal, not just in money or time, but in respect. I came here believing it was, and being told it was a time for healing, and that I was hired to help mend fences and build relationships. I came as someone who's been known to be approachable, someone who cares about people, who wants always to be on the road for improvement, who takes her work seriously and herself lightly, and someone who likes to laugh and enjoys working. I'm still that person. I put the resolution from the Senate out of my mind. I have a response to the allegations that I would be glad to share with anyone who really wants to know how I would respond. I have shared it with the people with whom I work and with whom I report. I suspect I won't get apologies for it, and I offer no apology for the work that I've done at this college to date. I am, however, sorry that we are in this place. And now, like Janice, I urge us to see this new semester as a fresh start. I urge us to open new notebooks, form new resolutions, and develop new relationships with people that we think we know because we've read something or seen them make a mistake or laughed with them, but we probably only know them as a shadow of the past. I urge us to support each other, to help each other remember our college mission and our values. I urge us to confront each other's inconsistencies, not, I sound like I talked to Joe, but I didn't, not in a public forum or written diatribes sent to the universe, but in a collegial, respectful manner, and not in an effort to cast blame or aspersions, but in an effort to bring out the best parts of ourselves that we can be. I urge us to take joy in our work. Education's a wonderful place, and we make contributions to society through the exploration of the arts, the development of job skills, and just the maturing process that comes from taking another perspective and learning things from each other. I urge us to find ways to walk in each other's shoes, to have some fun, to put aside our issues and focus on students. And if we can do that, I truly believe it will be a new day for the College of DuPage. Now get out there and teach like hell.